Welcome back to The Blueprint with Chris Thomas, where we connect faith, business, real estate, and purpose. Today's guest is Wayne Hardy from Hardy & Hardy Media Marketing. He's a powerhouse in the advertising world in the Ohio Valley, but personally, just a huge mentor for me. A guy that I admire so much. He has no idea really that I was probably even going to say that, but I look up to the man as a person, as a business owner. And Wayne, welcome to the show, man.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris. I really appreciate it. And Joshua, it's a pleasure to see you.
AKA Pappy Wayne to me, so
yeah,
just want to throw that out there.
So a huge honor to have Wayne, and also my co-host Josh Lowe from Whiteside Chevrolet Lowdown Deals.
Pays to drive the white side. Come on.
And shout out to Mason Goddard, our producer today too, to make this all happen. But let's just jump right into it. Wayne, so tell us about where it all started, where Wayne Hardy came from, the beginning, and we'll get to where you are now.
Interesting, where did Wayne Hardy come from? So I was born and raised in Hackensack, New Jersey, which is 10 miles from New York City. Came to West Lib in 1976. And when I say it like that to young people, they don't even realize, 1976.
That would have been West Liberty State College, right?
That was the West Liberty State College.
Represent the Hilltoppers here.
So
how do you get from the shadows of New York City to little West Liberty in the 70s?
So the plan was to play baseball. It never came to fruition due to a few things. So that didn't happen, but guess what? While I was there, God kept me there.
Yeah.
Kept me there for a reason, right? My best friends are from there. I still talk to my college roommate 3 times a day. I have lunch with 7 college buddies once a month. So it was a place for me to be. So I enjoyed that time there. It gave me independence, learned a lot.
Yeah, you're kind of on your own out there then.
On your own, right?
Yeah.
Only son, 3 sisters, an Italian family. So you're like doted on.
Yeah.
Which, it was probably a handful for my sisters to deal with. But yeah, and then graduated in 80, and I moved back 6 months later and started my journey. And like I was saying earlier, my mother wanted me to be an attorney. Well, I wasn't the best student.
That wasn't the plan, obviously.
That wasn't the plan. God was like, no, you're not going to be an attorney. Our graduating class at Hackensack was like 832 people. And I think I graduated 567, something like that. So, but I did go to West Lib. I loved it. Graduated in 80, moved back, and started my journey. My first job, I sold soap. So cleaning supplies, actually. Back when I was younger, doctors made house calls.
Yeah.
So they would have this big black suitcase they would carry with their stethoscope and all that stuff. That's what I had, except mine had cleaner, carpet scrubbing stuff.
Lavender soap up there.
And, so you worked in the evening. And I did it for 6 months. I actually had some success.
Really?
Yeah. And then...
well, back then, people took pride in their house, too. Then they bought cleaning supplies.
And that people were more apt to let you in.
And you had a lot of,
You get today someone knocking on your door at 6:30 at night carrying a big suitcase. You're probably not saying, hey, come on in.
And it was a different time with a lot of, homemaker.
Absolutely. Right. A lot of stay-at-home moms, for sure. So from there, I moved on. I sold combined insurance, which is an accident policy. And it was just door to door. And it would be in rural areas, which being from New York, I never really witnessed a lot of rural areas, like dog patch in Logan, West Virginia.
Use a bit out of your element.
Yeah, Logan's pretty rural.
Pretty rural. Especially when you're wearing a suit, you don't know better, and someone says, are you a revenuer? And you have no clue what even a revenuer is. But yeah, and I did well. Some people couldn't pay $28 every 6 months, so I would trade. They would have beef. Some people would have pigs for pork. I'd pay the $28 out of my commissions, and I'd go home with beef and pork. So.
I still love the barter system.
Well, I always tell people, my mother always told me don't use 4-letter words, and I thought cash was one of them. So
yeah,
that's it. So so I did that, and then a dear friend of mine, Jerry Giacovetti from West Liberty, he worked at WWVA as an accountant, and he said, hey, they're hiring a salesperson. I was like, okay. So I went there and interviewed and got the job, and I worked for WCPI. For people out there that are a little older, it was 99.9, and their tagline used to be CPI remembers. That was the whole thing.
That's before my time.
So back before you.
Yeah, I don't know that one, but I do know WWBA.
Yeah. So, you got pinstripe, you got the vest with the lapels on. I mean, you're ready to go. Mm-hmm. $672 a month is what I made.
Really?
Yes. And it was a draw against commission.
Oh, wow.
So if you know what that is,
Right.
it's tough sledding. But the thing was, Fred Scheidel, he said, you know what, you're going to be good. I'm going to give you the biggest sales list we have. And I'm like excited, like, wow, I'm a new guy. I'm like, handed me the phone book. I was like, yeah. Okay. Talk about, let's take a step back and absorb that.
Mm-hmm. I hear guys in the car dealership saying that's what they would do too, is just call people up. Okay, yes,
right.
No, yes, no.
But then they give you the list of like, oh, and here, by the way, in the phone book, here's the people you can't have. Yeah, it's like all the good ones, right? So, ended up spending 17 years in the building. So, God blessed me. I did a great job, but also I got lucky too. I mean, as people retired or changed jobs, they said, okay, you're trying, you're doing, give you a client here or there. I'll never forget, I was going out on a sales call. Fred Gardini, who was the general manager at the time, is out in the middle of Main Street waving me down, going, get in here. Ross Felton, who was the general manager, wants to see you. And I'm like, getting fired. Yeah. I mean, what else do you think?
Yeah,
like,
the pink slip's coming.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, I thought I was doing all right. He sits me down. He says, we appreciate what you're doing. We're going to keep you. We're changing the format. And it's interesting because the format change went to 98.7.
WOVK.
Right.
98.7.
And the WOVK stands for Wheeling, Ohio Valley Country with a K. That's what it stands for.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
As much as I've grown up here.
Yeah, Chris, note that down because I didn't know that either.
So it was new. VA was the powerhouse, right? I mean, 50,000 watts, just flaming everywhere. And there was a furniture store in Cameron called Fish Furniture. Big advertiser on VA. Fred and I devised this plan. He goes, here's what we're going to do. So I go out there and I sell them. I get a buy. Mm-hmm. Ross Felton, who 2 months before said, you're doing a great job. I get called back into the principal's office. He said, I have to ask you a question. I said, yes, sir. He said, tell me what you said because I know what I heard. I was like, okay, I'll tell you. I said, if God meant for you to listen to mono, he would have only given you one ear because OVK was in stereo. Yeah, there was no other stereo country music.
Yeah. He
just looked at me, laughed, and said, do not ever, ever say that again. And I was like, yes, sir.
So, noted here, yeah.
Duly noted. But we thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But at the time, I mean...
fun doing it, then it's...
And let's be honest, salespeople are very territorial, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's yours. They don't play well in a sandbox.
Yeah, we know that.
So, yeah, I mean, both of you are in a very, very competitive world.
Yep.
I mean, back when I was selling radio, there was 9-10 radio stations. And then when we acquired like Eagle 107 and some other, we had 7 radio stations in one building with separate sales staffs. It was a free-for-all. Yeah. I mean, it was like bloodletting sometimes. It's like, it was insane. And then I ended up being a station manager for Eagle 107 my last 7 years. And we had great success. I had 3 young ladies that worked with me. And let me tell you, were they the smartest at it? No. They were the hardest. Their financial situations made them the fiercest, hardest work. You better get out of their way.
Yeah, nothing.
I mean, we made budget as a team for 36 months in a row. They were slaying it. Wow. It was unbelievable. Back then, I would tell them, don't come in, just fax it to me, right?
You're right, right.
Because we didn't have cell phones.
Well, they had good leadership, so give ourselves some grace in that, right?
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, right? I never looked at people and say, I'm their boss.
Yeah.
You know, that's just, to me, is disrespectful. Some people would argue that point, but I still, in my heart, I say, I work with them.
Yeah, that's good.
And because we're on equal footing, right?
Yeah.
So that's nearly the same exact thing I say with, my marketing people, my team. I never use the term that they work for me.
Right.
I just don't want that feel of me being their boss or they're some underling.
Right.
So I say they work with me.
And that's fantastic. You give them grace, right?
And then it comes to all.
It's a team. It's a team effort.
It's a team. Absolutely. And it's like, bonuses and stuff. At that time back then, each sales department had a bonus, like a budget for bonuses. And I would, every day, first person, bring in, fax an order, get $25. You would get out of the way. You'd get run over.
Yeah.
So
Black Friday
one would win, and it was always cash at the end of the day, 25. But the other two that weren't first, they each got $10. And I know people say, "Oh, not a participant." Now that goes out the window in my mind with like sales. It's all psychological.
You want to keep everybody excited.
Okay, yeah, great. You got to buy today, but guess what? Yeah, okay.
That's it. No.
And so it worked. Like I said, 36 months. That was a great run we had. And I was telling you earlier, and I spoke of Fred Gardini, and he was a great leader. I walked into his office one day and saw a big photo, and I just started laughing, and it said, selling is like shaving.
Yeah.
If you don't do it every day, you're a bum.
Right.
And it had a guy with like scruffy. Yeah. It just stuck with me. I mean, I'm talking 41 years ago.
Right.
And I still remember it like it's yesterday, And I put it this way. I had a lot of success, obviously with God's help.
Yeah, right.
But I also had great people mentoring me. A story, Ray Couture, older gentleman. We used to go to the Bridge Bar, the old Bridge Bar.
At the Bridge Tavern notes?
Yeah, the Bridge Bar. And we'd go to lunch. And Ray would say, "Here, Wayne, here's what you do. You want to sell somebody, you want to bring them down, you want to be on their level," because a lot of people were farmers and stuff like that. He got a napkin out. And he starts writing on the napkin. He goes, "There." And then you just turn around. There, give it to them like that. Their comfort zone's right there. Mm-hmm. And it was like magic. I mean, it didn't work with everybody.
Right.
But the time was, because it just took all their anxiety or all the defense mechanisms down. And it was just amazing. And some of the other things is like, listen. Some people, even today,
slow to speak, quick to listen.
My wife and I, we own our own agency, and people just come in, they have their proposal, and they're just tunnel vision. They're going. It's like,
but they're not listening.
They're not listening. Or like, what's the client need, right? So the first time you would walk in, like the Mayfair, it was a ladies' shop in Barnesville, and I used to. It was one of my clients, and I would go out there, and I always asked her, "Why do you buy from me?" She goes, "Because you listen." I would listen, then go back and I would get a female in the building, because obviously I'm not the expert on women's clothing.
Right.
And they would help me, and we put it together, and then we'd have a female jock. And she would do a spec spot for me, right? So I'd go back and say, "Catherine, here's what we think. Tell me what you think." And I'd play that spec spot for her, and her eyes would light up. Like, you cared, you paid attention,
behind it, right?
And you're not here for a money grab.
Yeah.
That's the thing. you can sell anybody once.
Mhm.
I believe that.
But if they don't
But
believe it,
you got to
they're not
come
staying.
back. Did you do them justice,
Yeah.
or were you in there for the commission?
Yeah.
I see people always trying to this day, trying to sell me something because I know on the back end, that's their highest commission point. That's the product.
And you can smell that.
Yeah. And it's like, no, do what's right. They've come back tenfold.
Yeah.
For sure. That's
Yeah.
my boss, his name's Sam Kelly, and he always will say, like, you don't sell numbers. You want to put emotion behind it. You want them to come to their level, get emotion behind the sale, and then it becomes service. As when, I learned that from Chris, you want to serve people, but if there's no emotion behind it, they'll never come back. They're not going to tell people. They're not excited about what you just did for them, how you helped them. If there's no emotion, it's just emotionless. And at that point,
Absolutely. Well, the both of you guys, you sell two of the most important purchases in people's lives,
right.
a home and a vehicle.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's their children's education.
Yeah.
Those are the three big ones, right? And, excuse me. So, yeah, and you're both successful at it.
Appreciate
And,
that. Sure.
well, I know your heart. I know you guys.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it if it wasn't. I don't
Yeah.
give...
Yeah.
Happy Wayne's name's on that. You don't want to mess
Happy
that up.
doesn't give praise
Yeah.
easily, right?
Right.
It's earned because then I expect people to hold me to that too. And so
I definitely appreciate that insight and just that little bit of your life that I definitely didn't know you sold soap
Yeah.
sold soap.
or combined insurance or anything like that. I thought you were just like
No. And
radio media guy.
no, and then after that in 2000, Jim Emmerling, who Jim worked for TOV. We met at Fanny's. If you guys don't know, okay, so Fanny's used to be a restaurant bar where LB's, where the building was torn down?
Yes.
Across the street from Jingle Bar or whatever it's called, right there. There was a restaurant. It was owned by the Bories, and down below their restaurant was called Fanny's. And we had lunch there one day, and Jimmy said to me, he said, "Why don't you come work for me?" And VA was going through transformation. They were being bought by a bigger company.
Right.
Does that have Clear Channel times there?
It was Clear Channel.
Yeah.
And, they come in, people coming in from Philadelphia, different mindset. Wasn't my cup of tea. So I thought about it. Obviously Jimmy couldn't pay me what I was making because back in the 80s, I was making $90,000. I mean, that's...
They were hustling for it.
So
right? So Jimmy comes in and goes, "I can pay you X." I'm like thinking about this, and I'm physically ill, going to work every day, and that's no way to look at it, right?
Right.
So I checked on it. Now my parents had passed away, and I bought the house where I live now, and from my sisters, and I'm going through all this stuff, and I was like, let me do some. So I took my 401k, a lot of it, took it out, penalty, whatever.
Bet on yourself, didn't you?
Paid my car,
Yeah.
my house, 2 years in advance. I'm giving myself 2 years to make it or break it. That's it. I mean, if I can't do it in 2 years, shame on
That's
me.
the leap of faith there. Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I tell this story because when you write a check to the bank, don't write one check for 2 years because the account's only has one payment and then you're late next month. Didn't know that. Lady was kind enough to tell me before she turned it in. So I had to go back home and write 24 separate checks because it's due every month,
Yeah.
right? That big number just goes one time.
Yeah.
They can't split it up. But that was just a funny fact. I wanted to know right there.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad she told you.
but yeah.
Nice enough for her to do that.
So I start working for Jim Emmerling. They couldn't believe I left VA. I mean, people were stunned. And here's the other thing too, to back up just for a second. Karen, my wife, she worked with me at the time, right? We were both single. But we started dating, right? And they couldn't have both of us in the same department. Yeah, I get it. Well, they would just thought Karen would go somewhere to another. And but her heart was Eagle 107. That's what she worked there when we acquired them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm I'm not happy. I don't want to do that to her. That's her passion. She's not going anywhere. So I went and I told, at the time, Larry Anderson, the general manager, I said, you know what? I'm going to transfer to WKWK.
You probably about fell over.
He was like, okay. So the station manager there was Michael Odie. Behind closed doors, I talked to Mike. He goes, what are you doing? I said, listen, this is between you and I. I'm only going to be here for about 3 or 4 weeks because I'm going to work here. I'm going to help you for 2 weeks, and I'm putting in 2 weeks' notice. I'm leaving. He was like, ooh, okay. And I did. I left. And here's the thing. You know you made the right decision. You never look back.
Right.
Yeah.
Never once I turned around, oh, man, I shouldn't have done it.
Never second guessed yourself. You just had so much peace that come over you on that with that decision.
So I started Jim Emerling, had no clients, got a salary. Then I finally got a client, got another client. Next thing you know, I got 20 clients. Doing pretty good. I was there, 19 years. Jimmy and I, to this day, very good friends. Never any animosity, me leaving. It was just a different season. It was just time to go. And Karen had worked there, but she worked just part-time.
Yeah.
So then she started Hardy and Hardy like 3 or 4 months before I came on board. So we started in January of 19. So we're going to be 7th anniversary, 7 years. And, you know, and Karen and I, we had 20 some odd clients. And then as you get older, right? And my clients get older and they retire or whatever. Now I have like 8 clients that are clients and friends.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing you better make sure there's that line of client and a friend.
Business
is business. And like one told me a long time ago, I could fire you as my ad agency and then you and I can go have dinner that night as a friend. You have to be mindful of that. And it's hard to separate that, but that's the facts.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's hard as like a Christian or a believer because you just want to be loving on everybody, but then you guys still have to draw the line between business
absolutely
or relationship.
So
absolutely.
So let's talk about Hardy and Hardy Media.
Yep.
What are some of the things you do specialize in at Hardy and Hardy Media Marketing?
So what we do, you know, me, I'm old school. So I say traditional. For me, it's radio, TV, billboards. I know that stuff. I've been doing it forever. Karen does social media for about 8 or 9 clients. And some people, you know, they get confused with social media and digital marketing, right? They're completely different. So I found out over time, you know, it's just Karen and I, and we have people that we work with. Like our digital guy his name's Steve Campbell. He's from out in Reynoldsville, Pennsylvania. He's been doing it for over 35 years.
Longer than I've been alive.
He used to work for TOV, and then he was like us. Why can't I do this myself? So him and his son do it, and they have over 300 clients all around the United States. So the digital world, right, can be like, I know enough to be dangerous. That's why I have people like Steve. I'll explain up to a line, and I stop and I say, you know what? If you're still interested, if you're still interested, let's schedule something with Steve. Let's do but the world's changed, right? Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you guys. I mean, you guys both kill social media. It's like crazy.
Tips from you though. When I first started the social media, I was working somewhere.
And I get those from my wife, so I don't want to I want to steal her thunder because I just heard.
So tell us why does most marketing doesn't work?
So I don't want to say every media
where it doesn't convert.
Yeah, every media has its place, right? A billboard, radio, TV, and what it breaks down to 9 out of 10 times. The message, is your message right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And also, if your message is right, are you delivering it to the right people.
Yeah, you're right. Them.
You know, and it's like, in some medias, you just throw it out to the masses and hopefully it sticks.
Someone
Right?
grabs a hold of it.
But the digital world is like the social world, but even more, you can dig deeper into the digital world where you can say, I want females 18 to 34 that have this or whatever, and they'll have behavioral, right? So you know what someone's doing.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, I'll tell a quick story. You know, I'll go back to Doe and Ford, and we do some target marketing and stuff, and I thought it was a great idea. And what we did is we set up geofences at different locations. So obviously there are different car dealerships.
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw names out, but so different car dealerships. When you would walk on that property, we delivered you a Doe and Ford ad.
Mhm.
Brilliant. Great. I get a phone call from Miss Janie Dunn, who I love dearly, and says, you're going to be getting a phone call from, never forget it. So her name is Sue from Dearborn, Michigan. I was like, okay, thank you. And she's, Mr. Hardy, yes, ma'am. I understand you've been targeting A, B, and C dealers, and when they walk in there, a Doe and Ford ad. I said, yes, I have. She goes, that's a great idea. I was like, oh, thank you. Don't ever do that again. I was like, yes, ma'am, duly noted. You know,
That's smart.
well, it would have been okay if it wasn't the same type of dealership, right? If it was a Chevy or
Stay away now.
No. Or Jeep or whatever would have been fine.
For sure.
But when it's Ford's a Ford, yeah, it gets tough. But the whole thing is, once you run a program, that analytical data is unbelievable, right? And I tell people, it's not a set it and forget it. You don't look at it because you'll see what display ads work, which don't, and you can change them up. People are afraid. I don't know if they're afraid of change, but they just look at it.
People are
It's
afraid of change.
They are. And it's just like billboards. I don't care how great, and I did see your billboard, by the way, it looked good.
Yeah, I look good up there.
You know, they look good. But what I tell people is, you know, I know the billboards, you know, the paper and stuff and the things they use is good for a year. And that's great. But I try to change them out every 6 months because become wallpaper. Anything.
Dude.
It could be a radio commercial, TV commercial. You just black it out. It's like, okay, I know how this movie's going to end. See it, you know. And so that's the thing. That's the hardest thing with my clients because they have the information that I need.
Yeah.
And if you can't communicate that with them, it's very difficult because I can write something, but I don't know your business like your business.
Right.
Like you know your business.
Yeah.
And it's some of the businesses now, the young kids are taking over. And it's great because I've known them since they were like 8, 9 years old. So they listen. We have great relationships. And they are taking those businesses to new heights. And it's just great. And don't be afraid. Like people always like, oh, this day of the week is my best. So you pour more money into it. Well, no.
But I think in sales, you know, two of the biggest things I find is communication and consistency.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I have to communicate all the time with every buyer, seller, lenders, and leave those lines open to where they know they can contact me.
Sure.
But also being consistent, not
Right.
as you spoke about. You know, you can feel when somebody's just going after that commission,
Right.
And then, well, they're not worried about the long game of just getting you for life.
Results.
You know, getting the referrals from you because, you know, I pride myself on staying just consistent every time, doing it right, doing it correctly.
Sure.
And, you know, I've given up commission for clients numerous times because I know when I give it up for the one, they're going to give me 10.
Well,
They're going to refer me to every friend and family.
and that's interesting that you just stepped on something that you asked. There was something here. Common sales mistake business owners make. And it's like the brick and mortar, it is referrals. emails,
Yeah.
right? Don't be afraid to say, give us a Google review or give an incentive, right? And I tell a client, it doesn't have to be a lot. Like if you're selling refrigerators and stuff and, you take a card and if Chris Thomas or Josh Lowe come in, they go, I'm going to send you a gift card for $25.
Right.
Look at Xfinity. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like they're rewarding you. Go take $200 off your bill.
But they'll take you for the next 2 years.
Right. Because you
Don't get me.
So,
Pappy's got a big mind.
so a scripture that tied into this I found is Jeremiah 29:11, and it's pretty profound, pretty like a famous scripture. A lot of people know is so for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper and not harm you. And I look at your story and I think where you started, where you came from, right?
Sure.
And how have you followed in your faith to know that there was a plan for you to prosper?
Yeah. So my faith, I've always believed in God. I grew up in a Catholic church.
Yeah.
And then it just slowly drifted away, just be honest. And then when Karen and I got married, she's the Catholic religion. And I tell my friends, I tell my sisters, if you're not raised in it, it's a tough religion to just say, hey, I'm going to start going. It's a thing, right? And God loved my wife. She tried. And it's like, I get it. They're like, okay, well, I'm not going to go by myself. So I didn't go, right? Then my grandkids, right? My son-in-law, Glenda, kept saying, hey, we're going to church. You want to go? Well, we'd be at the lake, on Saturday.
Yeah, there are things to do.
Sunday morning, we're like,
sleeping.
Probably not going to happen. And then we looked at each other and like, are we just terrible people? Our grandkids? I was like, I'll never forget. We went to, it was in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
First person I saw, Angel Regal. Hey, could I have your name? She'd be standing outside.
Yeah, big old smile. Yeah.
The Hardys, welcome Hardys. And then every week, Karen and I would go, welcome Hardys, And the first time I walked in to the auditorium, I said, where do you kneel? And they're like, you don't kneel. And I'm like, man, these catcher knees are going to last another 20 years, joking around.
Come on.
But it elevated from there. So it's been 7 years maybe. I mean, and and I've met people like yourself.
Yeah.
Like-minded people. And then we have Monday night, the foundation, like-minded people.
And then there's power in getting around like-minded people.
Yes.
And so what you do.
Yeah.
And the first time I walked in there, someone told the pastor's name. And I'm like, wait a minute now. And I said, that wouldn't be the drummer from Jamboree USA. They went, yes. Because I knew of Pastor Tim.
Yeah.
Because I was still there when he was drumming on Saturdays, but I didn't go on a Saturday night.
Yes.
Unless it was somebody I really wanted to see. But yeah, and I was like, wow. I have to tell you, the first thing that music hit, I almost running for the exit.
I felt like a deer in the headlights when I
was like, what's going on right now?
I was like, these people they're crazy. Their hands are in there. They're worshiping God. And I'm like, something.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just like
loud.
Wow. It's a lot to do. Because the Catholic Church, folk music, when they played my aunts and them, they're ready to have a takeover.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? We're having that. We're doing a guitar. No, if it's not the organ, it's out.
Yeah. Sure. But I'd like the power of the invitation though. As your grandkids didn't invite you, and Pastor Tim always touches on that. Invite them, and then I actually made a social media post saying, for Christmas seasons and Easter seasons and things like that, just say yes, because if don't do it for yourself, do it for the ones that love you enough to invite you.
Absolutely.
And then obviously,
and you both do an unbelievable job inviting people. I mean,
yeah, it's so, but we see there, where we know the plan that's laid for us, right?
Absolutely.
So where, we all work in sales in some capacity, but we see that when you know the plan, I think it helps you stay, walking in that plan rather than folding when, times get slow or, or we're starting to get burnout,
Absolutely.
right, things like that, because burnout's real.
Burnout is real.
There is slow times. I know Josh did car sales. It's winter. Let's stop home sales. So there's always a shift happening. And,
Absolutely.
But when we stay true to the plan that we know it's not our plan,
No.
it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. And then the other thing is if speaking for the men, if you have your little downtrodden and stuff, you can reach out. You got like 60, 70 guys that, or you have your core group, but you're never alone,
Right.
unless you want to be alone, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. So it all happened from there, and it was a struggle. I get there, don't question, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
It's just faith. Don't question. Just have faith in it. What you're there for. You're there to seek Jesus
Sure.
and have that relationship that you finally built.
Yeah.
You built your own relationship with him.
Absolutely.
But I got a question though. Did it change how you presented yourself in sales or business when you in that relationship?
Absolutely.
Because guys were probably like, "What's up with you, Wayne?"
So it's twofold, and Chris hit on it. Sometimes you don't take commission or whatever, and it's and not that I'm this wealthy human being by any stretch. I'm talking financially.
Yeah.
Right. If I can help somebody, I'm going to help that person.
Yeah.
We're called to do that. Whether I say I don't dislike anybody, I might like some better than others, but I would help anybody.
Yeah.
And they, as a human being, they deserve that. And help doesn't always come in financial.
Yes, I think it's so important that people
It's
hear that.
like time.
Yeah. Your tools, your time that
Yes.
you can provide to people.
Yeah, like the shelter, the winter freeze, right? And I used to go, they just want somebody to talk to, or read a book. I was like, read a book. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's the little things. It's like the $25 bonus. It wasn't $300. It was $25.
Yeah.
But it meant a lot to that person. People just want to know someone cares about them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just it. As a human being, you need to be that person.
Yeah.
Something that I say pretty routinely really is the most valuable asset we have is time.
Yes.
Because every second that goes by, you're not getting it back.
No.
And there's so many people that they would just love to have someone spend 1 minute with them. Just talk to them, or sometimes there's people that just
Right.
wish somebody would ask about their day.
Yeah.
Even if they're going to tell you it's terrible, but
that's okay.
knowing that someone cares.
Absolutely. And that's we're in the Christmas season. And it's, everybody's like, okay, we're going to give clothes, we're going to give to Salvation Army, and that's great. But guess what? These people need help 12 months out of the year, not 2 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I encourage people, or like when my children were growing up, we would, make them get rid of toys, and not give
We just
junk
did it
away.
yesterday.
Yeah, but okay, there's other boys and girls out there that have nothing, right?
Yeah.
So you don't, and I hate when people say, "Oh, well, they should be thankful." No, don't give them your junk.
Yeah.
Give them something that your child would still play with.
Yeah. We got to be respectful
Yeah.
of anybody's situation.
That's really not giving. If you're giving away your garbage to somebody, that's terrible. And also, what a demeaning thing to do to another human being.
Give joyfully, whatever
Right.
whatever it might be. It's talent,
Absolutely.
talents. When you go spend that time with that person, you're reading that book to them or whatever it might be.
Sure.
Do it joyfully, or just don't do it.
Don't do it at all.
Yeah.
That's right.
So Wayne, you probably remember when there was times that we sat on a board together with Appalachian
Sure.
Outreach.
Absolutely.
And we got our hands on the plow, right? We got out
Right.
there and we did the pickups as well.
Yep.
And one of the things we had to do was be respectful of people that even if when they had nothing
Right.
or next to nothing.
Uh-huh.
And if you recall, there was times we would give people end tables that were scratched up.
Right.
Well, then they looked at us and they said, "What's this junk
Right.
you're giving us?"
Yeah.
Even though they had nothing, but we had to really change that mindset of
Well, sure.
just because they don't have it, we don't need to give it to them because,
And that's a great example.
we got to give them
Right.
what we would want to say, right?
You don't want to take away anybody's dignity.
Okay.
And then it's like people, when they're coming to their end of their life, and I saw it with my dad, saw it with my mother, the last thing that they want to give up is their dignity, right? They're going down swinging. And that's what you pray for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You would pray for maybe it happened quickly, but in the meantime, you want them to hold on to their dignity as long as possible because it's something hard to give up.
Yeah.
Like someone that can't drive anymore, an older person,
Oh yeah.
for them to hold on to those keys and give you those keys, I can't even imagine.
I have a funny story with that actually. Kind of funny, but ours also hard, touching. So my dad, obviously, you guys know that. There was a point where he had a brand new truck in the driveway, and then he couldn't drive it. Well, back when I was like 19 years old, maybe even I wrecked his car texting and driving. So we're gonna go fishing for our last fishing trip because he literally passed 2 days later. He walks outside, he gives me the keys, he says he's like, stay off your phone, and he is the dignity of not wanting me to drive his vehicle because it was his truck.
Right.
It took everything he had in him to allow me to drive that truck for us to go fishing. Even though it was an amazing moment once we got there.
Right.
And then I got to hear about his testimony, but still, he did not, even going home, he was like, if you text on your phone, this, and that. I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to text. But he did not want to give me the keys to his truck because I think he felt bad also that I had the driving. And then two, obviously, I did wreck his vehicle texting and driving, and I lied. But he found me.
Watching. But you're exactly right.
So rapid fire questions for you.
Sure.
Okay.
Shoot. Go ahead.
One marketing mistake that small businesses make.
Well, like I said, it's the message, and you can't be everything to everybody. Find your lane, stay in your lane, and control your lane. Right? That's like Rack's roast beef. You remember Rack's roast beef?
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, I forgot. You're 12.
Yeah. We'll take him up into Ohio. There's still one open.
Rack's roast beef. That's what they're made for. Turned around one day, they're selling hot dogs. Really? Hot dogs?
Stay in your lane.
Nobody thought of, let's go get a hot dog at Rack's roast beef. That didn't last. And they did burgers. No. Stick in it. Do what you do.
Stay in your gifts.
And do it. And the other thing, real quick, is you said, I think somewhere in here, someone had $1,000.
Yeah.
So to me, I look at it like I have to have a serious conversation with a client before I'm going to spend $1,000.
Yeah.
Do I feel confident that I could get some traction? And if the answer is no, I won't take the money because I don't want them to say, well, I tried advertising, it doesn't work. Now it just ruins it for everybody. That's even back in radio. Someone would take $200 schedule. Why? You make $30. Why?
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Now they're soured on everybody, and you can't go back. So I'm mindful. I tell clients, listen, when you're able to, what area you want, let's get a proposal put together. And it used to be in radio, we would try to set 13 weeks. It takes time to build up. Like you've built up your clientele, built up your clientele.
Right.
Didn't happen in a day. So you have to have a build. To me, $1,000 a one-off, and I'm always leery of a one-off. Unless it's like, hey, I got 50 spray painters, and when they're gone, they're gone. Now we're gold because it's one thing. We're going to blow them out, call it a day. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But
so video or photos?
Facebook loves video, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like here's the thing, right? And I know photos, you can put motion to them, but video.
There ain't nothing like
There's
video.
with audio, they're so passionate, they're so impactful, done right.
Yeah.
But if you're not able to do all that, photos are fine.
So if you're looking to take your business to the next level in 2026 coming, what should you do?
Well, first you got to recap 25, right, and see what sold, what didn't sell, and give me a call. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm not out here pitching my business at all, but if people are out there and I'm happy to sit down and talk to people. And if I can help them, I will. What people don't understand is when they see agency, they see expense, right? So there is some expense, like if they're going
That you invest in yourself.
yeah, but if
You
they're
have
going to, then that's if they're going to shoot video with somebody, like Nate shoots a lot of video for me. Well, he got paid me. Right?
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with me. But if someone spends $5,000 a month, right? I don't charge a retainer or anything. I used to. I was just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
So
Lord Preston.
my thing is I go to 7, not wherever, and I negotiate the rate, right? You're going to pay that $5,000 anyway, and I might be able to get a little better deal because I buy in bulk.
And you can get some more bang for their
Yeah,
buck.
to get more bang for their buck, and the TV station pays me a commission. It's not like you're writing me another check. And I've had clients early on like, why do I need you? I said, well, you probably don't. You go ahead and try it. It's like, it's okay. I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
And do you want 30 salespeople calling you every day? You have a business to run. It's like Wayside Furniture, dear friend, do a lot of business with them. He's inundated. I mean, they get phone calls, emails, and they're like, call Wayne Hardy. He takes care of my stuff. But that's what I would say. Reevaluate, see what's going on. Budget-wise, was it spent wisely? But seriously, if anybody wants to call, I'll sit down and have that conversation because in my world, I deal with people like websites. Eric Hersey, dear friend of mine, been doing business with him for 12 years. Unbelievable. Like I alluded, I have 3 graphic designers. Sometimes you don't need a graphic designer, but if you do, I have 3.
You know somebody.
I have 4 people, and they're all 1099 people that I work with every year, right? And that's the business.
I got 2 quick questions.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Arby's roast beef or Rack's roast beef?
Well, so I'm going to have to go with Rack's because
Okay.
I'm not Arby's.
Yeah.
It wasn't really around
Rack's.
here, so
You on Rack's too? There?
Yeah.
I'm going.
I've never had it, so I
Old
can't-
school racks.
I'm going with the Mark Link Rack's roast beefs.
Number 2 on the menu. I'm just kidding. I have no
Go
idea.
ahead.
Next one. Most famous person you've ever met while doing your marketing and everything that you all do.
So the most famous person I ever met, I met Garth Brooks.
Like you shook his hand, met him.
Oh yeah, but now my favorite of all time, Loretta Lynn.
Yep.
I had the pleasure, and back then at the Capitol Theater, they did 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock, 2 shows. I did go watch Loretta Lynn. I mean, how can you not?
Coal Miner's Daughter. Didn't she sing that?
And then
Thank you.
I was fortunate enough to go out on Main Street with Loretta Lynn and hold popcorn boxes while she handed them out.
That's awesome. Wow. That's meeting a person, yeah.
I've met so many people, but here's what I'll tell people. Like I've had a lot of people over the years, Wayne, I want to meet so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'd actually make up excuses why they can't. Even sometimes they could have, because that person is not the person you think they are. And I don't want to ruin it for that person. Like there have been some,
I've met a bunch of
there
them.
have been some entertainers, like you want to talk about prima donnas. The fire department would have to come in and recirculate the air, and all this nonsense. Now, I did get
Only green M&Ms.
Yeah.
In the bowl. Yeah.
now the funniest story was Mickey Gilley was at Jamboree in the Hills.
Mhm.
Fabulous show. His first cousin is Jerry Lee Lewis. And their other first cousin is Swigert, the preacher.
Yeah, Jimmy Swagger.
Yeah, Jimmy Swigert. So imagine that Sunday dinner, right? So Mickey Gilley
And Jerry Lee
performed.
Lewis was a wild man.
Jerry Lee Lewis closed that night. They picked him up at the Ohio County Airport, had him in a limo, had to feed him like a fifth of booze to get him back to wherever. He gets out there, and he's having at it, right? In the middle, he just kicks the chair back, walks off the stage. Larry Anderson, Mickey Gilley standing right there and says, can you go talk to your cousin? He goes, are you out of your mind? He shot at my tires on my airplane last week. No way.
That's pretty
Those stories are true. Of
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, people like that.
Like, and telling you, Tucker
Outlaws back then.
was a sweetheart. Got to meet her. She was riding a sheriff's horse out at the hills.
Yeah.
So most of them are so gracious.
Yeah.
And then there's some
couple wild ones out there.
So, but yeah, well, but mine is certainly Loretta Lynn.
Loretta Lynn.
That I met, and Garth Brooks was wonderful.
Mhm.
I got to meet Kid Rock.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he is who you think he is in a good way.
Yeah.
He doesn't he ain't making stuff up. That's him.
He likes fun. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
And he talks about Jesus a lot too now. So that's
Yes.
pretty cool. It was,
Absolutely.
so give us, what is the blueprint for Wayne Hardy? What's the blueprint for your success? The blueprint for your life? What has made, everything that you've got?
So, first of all, obviously it starts with God. But and as you pour in more and more, which I have done as I get older and older. So we just discussed all these chapters or seasons in my life, and obviously it's not over. And I new seasons all the time, and I look forward to them more and more because of my faith.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how I'm connected to the church and to the people at the church, and it certainly makes things easier.
Yeah.
As far as the business wise, I really don't even worry about it because it's going to take care of itself. It'll take care of itself. My wife always says, I'm done. No more social media. Don't ask me. I don't want to do it. Okay. I'll come home one night. She'll go, oh, so-and-so called. Then I was like, did you tell her no? Well, I couldn't tell her no. I was like, okay, well, at least you signed off on it.
Yeah.
I've never had a job. I mean, a job to me is like,
A 9 to 5.
or like,
Not being miserable to go every day.
I was miserable for a short period of time, but I rectified it.
Yeah.
Right? But I never had a job. Like people, I have friends now, like Christopher Turak just retired, right? Someone asked him last night at his retirement, what's Wayne do for you? And I'm standing next to him and he looks at me. He goes, when you find out, let me know. He goes, I know he drinks my coffee,
Yeah.
but that's the type of relationship. And it wasn't always that way, and so it's just connect with people, treat people with honor, don't belittle them. I see so many people belittle people to make themselves feel better, to elevate themselves. And I'm like, shame on you.
No, we can all win.
Yeah,
I mean, rising tides float his ships, right?
absolutely. It's just like, why you got to do that? If you're, just move on.
Yeah.
Just walk away from whatever it is. You don't need to beat up people.
So the Lord, obviously, and then
Yep.
His will be done in your life.
Absolutely.
And there's no stress. When you give it to Him, you open your hands up, you give it to Him.
And I have a couple things here real quick. So it's Psalm 112:5.
Mm-hmm.
Good will come to those who are generous and lend freely,
Amen.
who conduct their affairs with justice.
Yeah.
So that one stuck out. I got another.
That's really good there.
Happy has another one.
Well, there was probably a time where you didn't even open your Bible up, but now look at you. You got
So
it there, baby.
and let me. So, being raised in a Catholic faith. You know how many times I read the Bible?
0.
0. Right? It was never a thing. It was when you go to Sunday, they would have hand you that for the responses, the hymns, whatever. Catechism, Sunday school.
Mm-hmm.
It was a booklet, right? And I called it all muscle memory. I mean, I can go into a Catholic mass tomorrow and he'll never know that I didn't go there anymore, except one. They say a prayer now that they extended. And I was at a wedding and I'm sitting next to a buddy of mine and I'm doing the extension. He elbows me. He goes, I said, what? He goes, they shortened it back. I said, I didn't get that memo.
Yeah.
So they came back to it. And this one's Proverbs 11:25. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed.
That's very true.
Just treat people.
Yeah.
Just be a good person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as simple as I can put it.
It doesn't take that much to be
But
a good person.
in the words of the great philosopher Gloria Hardy, she always used to say to me, Wayne, be in a good mood, because it takes as much energy to be in a good mood as in a bad mood. And people always say, I've never seen you in a bad mood. Well, I get in bad moods, right? Maybe I hide it, whatever. But I'm not in a bad mood.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's wasted energy.
For sure.
Or other stuff people are like worried about or fixated on. It's like, don't even give it headspace. Why are you letting that live in your head? It's just like, no. Just what's in front of you.
So how do people find Wayne Hardy and Hardy and Hardy media marketing? What's website, social media?
So
In the Pigeon Owl?
So that's amen. So here's the thing that floors everybody. I don't have a website.
Yeah.
I don't have a Facebook page.
So,
But they can contact me on my personal Facebook or Karen.
Yeah,
And
Wayne Hardy or Karen DePaulis Hardy, right?
Right. And it's people, they just flip out. Because, again, we talk about seasons.
But you're very personable to find.
I'm easily to find.
you stand in a room, 195 people are going to know who you are.
Well, it's a funny thing. My first galvanized, my son-in-law got me to. And I'm sitting in the back because that's what you do, right?
That's what you did.
Pastor Tim was there, right? Obviously, I've known Pastor Tim, and he looks in the back and he says, hey, and if that guy in the back right there, Wayne Hardy, he knows more people than Jesus. I'm like,
Chris and I said,
no. But that's the relationship that the church has, right? I mean, it's just, take that as a great compliment.
Yeah, amen. Because it says, to sit with sinners, and obviously don't partake in all the crazy things, but like, you're supposed to be with people. You're supposed to be around people, and you keep it obviously very professional, but also it's a real relationship when someone contacts you through a personal Facebook. They're talking to you. They're not
Absolutely.
talking to AI. They're not talking to Molly. They're talking to Pappy Wayne Hardy.
Yep, and call Pappy, because Pappy's not a big texter.
Yeah.
No, I'm still waiting on a text from about 3 months ago.
From me,
I don't know. Just kidding.
So
probably say, okay, thanks.
one of the biggest things I was taking from this was, God's plan doesn't just cover your life.
No.
It covers your business, your brand,
Absolutely.
and your impact all over. And if God gave you the vision, He also gave you a responsibility to steward that vision as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You take it, you just honor God. You don't take anything for granted. Be thankful,
Yeah,
because this world will humble you.
for sure.
And we've all been humbled. When you think you're, He'll knock you down a peg just to shake you up a little bit. Like, hey, maybe that's what He did with that Paul guy who got knocked out. He broke his jaw in two places.
Definitely got humbled.
Sent him a message.
Got humbled.
So if today's episode helped you, share it with a business owner who needs direction. Follow the podcast, leave a review, connect with today's guest, Wayne Hardy. Look him up on Facebook. He's very easy to find. He's easily approachable. And everybody is really in a better place for knowing this guy. Such a positive light everywhere he goes. But remember, God doesn't give you random visions. He gives you blueprints.
Amen.
That's good. Amen.
That was
I love
awesome.
you. God loves you more, Pappy. Come on.
Thank you.